up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Blizzness, episode 117, the speed dating episode.
We're in a rush today. That's my fault, but we're in a rush.
All right, we have 5.
Let's not call it speed dating, though.
3. I'm not counting down.
Okay.
Really good topics, but right off the bat, huge thank you to
Yes.
Edge VR Arcade and Creative Edge for making Strictly Blizzness possible.
Yes, thank you very much.
Cool. Of the list, what do you want to start with today?
You go first.
What I'm working on?
Yeah, let's talk about. So we've again, this is behind the scenes show, so we're in the off season right now.
Yeah.
But you're not off.
No.
You haven't been off.
No.
We don't really get a break in operations, right? It's
Right.
constant. So what kind of things are you working on that people don't realize you'd be working on right now?
Yeah, so the signage is the big one. So if you've attended games at other buildings, you'll see decals on dasher boards or banners in Quad Cities, which is a real cool process actually, where they're all in a tube and he sets them out every game. If you've been to one of our games, our dasher boards are actually wrapped, like the signage is wrapped completely.
So it's
around
not just
the
a
pad.
decal
Right
over the top.
Now we did have 2 decals last year because we had Strictly Blizzness logos in the end zone because those were available should the league have landed a league sponsor that we could have changed them out on the fly. So we can do that, but our regular process is any dasher board that's changing out or damaged or I think might change out, we pull in January. So they're actually, as of this episode, they are down in the Rush Expo right now because I'm walking and doing a damage check and changing out the topper. Different conversation for a different day.
Yeah,
and probably
that
a lengthy process. So Nat, Ben, and I are pulling a bunch of stuff off of them on Wednesday of this week. But we will go, anybody I know is changing out, potentially might be changing out, and anything that, let's say a D2's who's been a partner for a long time, I check for tears and stuff, and if there's the opportunity to grab it and take it and just redo the artwork.
Or update their logo. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a process because you're taking some that might not change and bringing them over to WonderSign, who's a partner, just in case they change in the next month. So the timing is down right now to check them over. So they're sitting in the Rush Expo the next 3 days. January, second week in January, they'll actually get picked up. Thanks to folks at Baytech who help us out. We'll bring the box truck over there, load up all the ones that I know are changing or think are changing, and then they will sit at WonderSign and get periodically changed out as Joel and I approve artwork, and then brought back to the Rush, I think the week before the home opener or the week of, just so they're back in the possession of the Rush Center, and then they're in storage until they get put out on game day. But that's the process.
Yeah, it's quite a process.
It is, right? And this is why, to your point, that I don't just vanish in the summer. Like it's a lot, and some really good local mom and pops businesses, I'll call them, like have to dig into the archives to find the right format of the logo, and there's back and forthing on artwork, and it's a process. So yeah, before you can bring somebody new in, you got to make sure there's a board you can sell them,
right.
Or you're hanging banners in the party pit like we had last year, which we will do again. And those
right.
are, like, after I saw those were pretty valuable.
They look nice.
Like,
yeah.
You see those from every angle. Well, or if we're advertising Trinks and it only had one board on one side of the field, the party pit's way better because you see it from the whole building the way we have it set up.
Right.
So yeah.
So
long answer to the question there.
No, but a good answer, because this is why when we have new people coming in that are expansion teams, why we tell them you can't wait till January. You can't wait till February or your home opener to be doing this kind of stuff, because you had to have those relationships going a heck of a lot sooner than now. And we're in December.
And some other team, Julie in Iowa had done some real cool stuff where you advertise your own, like Strictly or group sales or stuff. Like, outside of hanging banners, which we should look at in light of this episode, hang a Strictly banner somewhere. Like, we don't have the real estate, which is great by the time you do food trades, actual cash partnerships. It's just, we're out of signs. Like,
so
which is cool.
So you said 2 things. You said real estate and you said Strictly. So are we going to do a Strictly banner with our faces like
we
this?
Probably should.
Like a real estate
like
bench.
Like the Monday, or like a buy your home from us, or like the every Monday at
I like it.
With Kathy and Ryan. Like, yes, yeah. Yeah, be a great spot for an Edge VR logo too.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway. Okay, so that's one topic, and that's a big topic, I think. Let's kind of shift gears a little bit, because there was some stuff that happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
There was a big football game in Green Bay, which I'll just lightly touch on because they're getting a lot of press themselves.
Yeah.
Which I was at, which was nice. Of course, I didn't pick them in the pool, so of course they won. So you're welcome, Green Bay. They won because I
Kathy
didn't take
picks
them.
against them. We're good in
Yes.
Packerland.
Yes. So the Packers won
Yep.
in a great game. It was very back and forth and some questionable ref calls, but other than that, a good game, and the Packers won out. In speaking about outdoor football,
Yeah.
there was news over the weekend that the XFL and the USFL have officially merged. So the Justice Department had to say whether or not they could. All the details as to how that's going to work, what their name's going to be, all of that is still kind of in flux. How that pertains to us as the IFL, also still in flux. So we're still in contact with our people within the XFL,
Yeah.
but we have to wait till they kind of iron all of their details out before we worry about what or how it's going to affect us. But they are playing in 24.
Awesome.
So that is official.
Very cool.
Other news from the league, we have league meetings coming up in January. So in that January that week of the 20th is when we'll be meeting. We are going to Columbus, which is
Cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So get to hang out with the Germains, and that's where our business department is located, and that's where that ownership group resides. So looking forward to seeing everybody, seeing our new members as well, and talking about whether it be rule changes, some more stability within the league, just operational changes that we need to look at, because as we grow, and those of you that either work for a small business or a big business for that matter, as you increase in sales or in size, there's a lot of things that start to kind of get away from you.
Yeah.
And it's very important that we as owners all stay on the same page.
In our world, I felt that last year, and I think I've shared with you as you and I are besties. Like, yeah, this is the first year like we felt small, right? Even in the Joe and Ryan years, it felt like we could handle it. Like when crowds got so big and you navigate more complicated corporate partnerships, like I felt like some of the stuff that normally made me, I slept through the cracks, or I tried to grasp for when it was too late. But that's very real, and it's a great problem to have, right? When you came to games last year, we didn't dip below 3, even on a June game, 3,000 people, which is incredible. But I tapped out a lot after the games, being like, I'm good. Yeah. Not celebrating, just going home. Yep.
Just done.
Yep.
Yeah. And this, so that's the entertainment side, right? There's a lot that goes into game day. There's a lot of time just prepping, but then there's time, physical labor the day of. I mean, we put in a lot of steps that day, and you do a lot more steps than I do, because I just show up like half hour before the game.
You've
I'm like, what do you need?
Though. Both you and your husband have earned that, and people want to know why I work so hard, because they've been relentless and kept keeping this thing around. So, yep.
Yeah, it's definitely been rewarding every season in different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to another season of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I want to touch on the league meetings thing. So there'll be a modified Strictly schedule. You'll see some holiday content coming up. Probably one check-in in January, because she'll be at the league meetings and vacation time. We'll take a brief time off, and then about a month out from the season, we'll fire back up with weekly with Sean, as long as he doesn't hate us. So, but we did talk about that before we went on air. All of these dates, and we have some really cool stuff with Edge VR coming, based on a conversation off the air too, that you might see some amazing game day
different
promo
stuff.
that you will not see it on any other team in the league.
Yes.
So, yep.
Shh. As always, we'd love for you to put your comments in, ask us questions, especially with those league meetings coming up. What do you want to know? I can't divulge tons of information, but are there, we've talked about this before, are there rules you'd like to see changed? With the AFL supposedly coming back in 24, their game is a little bit different than ours. We purposely did not take on the type of gameplay that they have, just to differentiate ourselves. And I think that's good for us, because we mimic more the outdoor game. We mimic more this USFL, XFL, NFL way of play. So to me, it aligns us better with that style of play on the
Good.
field.
The other thing we had, and I'm going to get you the exact data, Blizzard Nation, here, is we have
He's
a
being
local
exact.
tryout. And I want to make sure.
So we haven't done tryouts in
a
while.
Yep.
So we're looking for local people in the state of Wisconsin. So if you know somebody that played football, just graduated from college, or could be a walk-on, by all means, have them come to our tryout. Couple things though, this is serious. So read ahead of time this tryout that it's a form basically on what's expected of you, because we've had so many people that come to these tryouts and they're throwing up on the field because they just don't realize the amount of work that goes into something like this. So, this isn't a armchair warrior. I could be a football player. You need to be in shape. If you do play college ball, the day you accept a check from us, you're done playing college ball. So this is for people that are done with their college career of football.
So it is at the Crest Event Center out at UWGB, Saturday, January 20th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can register right now ahead of time for $50 or it's $65 day of. And you can find that on social media and our website.
Excellent.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole downloaded form
there's
there.
A complete form, like outside of shoe size and DNA sample. Like, it asks for everything on here. So take a couple minutes, make sure you read it all. So
awesome. So today is December 6th.
Yep.
So it's truly the start of the holiday season, because today was St. Nick. So hopefully you all put out your stockings last night and St. Nick came to you today. Do you know the story of St. Nick? Do you know where that comes from?
I think we may have covered it on here before.
We have.
Yeah, many episodes
So
ago.
the Feast of St. Nick is actually a Catholic tradition. St. Nick was a bishop, so a priest in the church in the 4th century. So this goes back a long, long time. Yeah. And really what would happen is, and this was in like what's now Turkey, that part of the world. He was from Myra, I think. Anyway, he would have children leave their windows open and he would drop things into the shoes that would always be by the window.
Yeah.
And it started as gold coins because he was a little wealthier than most. And it helped to save some of the young girls from entering into prostitution.
Yeah.
So it would put money into the family, because that's what girls would do to help out their family to survive. And then in time, it also became food. And one of the things, and as kids, we would always get them in our stockings, was tangerines, because that was a delicacy. So a tangerine or an orange or some kind of fruit into their shoes. So it would be kind of weird going into your shoe in the morning and, your stinky shoe having some food or some gold coins.
Right.
But the tradition is you put your stocking out on the 5th, on the 6th, you wake up to usually chocolate, nuts of some sort, a piece of fruit, and then a little toy, piece of clothing, things like that. So, yeah. So happy St. Nick, everybody.
Indeed.
Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
That was a lot. That was like speed.
It was pretty good, though. It was
like
loaded.
Steroids.
Loaded.
Loaded.
So make sure you comment on this episode with 2 special holiday ones coming up, just so we track anything you may want Kathy to ask at the league meetings. And then, again, the January 8th episode, once she's back, will be your last chance to get to her before she's off to the league meetings with questions on an episode for the league.
Yeah, so, because I'm actually leaving the day of the tryout for the league meetings. Along that same, no, I think we'll stop.
Okay.
I was going to go into something else, but I think we'll leave that for the next episode.
Yeah, just don't forget it.
Right. Because these are so scripted and planned.
Yeah, there's a teleprompter and no. Nope.
No. Nope.
Cool.
Just tell your producer to remind you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Sean.
Do you remember what we talked about last time?
I have a running list of Sean notes. He won't remember it either. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Do we hit him with it?
Let's hit him with it.
Go
Blizz.
Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.